So, welcome to one of my videos. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I got into contracting and also being a small business owner. I was in the military since I was 17 years old. I didn't know a damn thing about running a business. We only really had one family member who ran their own business, and obviously he wouldn't listen to anyone like me being a military monkey. Why would you listen to someone like me? So I did 15 years and decided I'd had my fill, had my life of adventure and wanted to go on to a next adventure. I did that by going into business for myself. And I was one of those people that jumped onto the energy performance certification. So when the government released those EPCs that had to be part of your home information pack back in 2007 when you needed to sell your house, I supplied those certificates. I then went on to supply home information packs. I then went on to supply software for estate agents. I did all the services for estate agents, and that's how my business grew. I was able to get contracts with individual homeowners, contracts with estate agents, contracts with councils where I was doing scores and hundreds of properties per month, and I was doing really, really well. But I wasn't really acting like a small business. I was acting like a self-employed person who was acting in the frames of a business. I wasn't really working on my business, I was working in my business. And that's because it was just me and my partner working on it. That was a few years. I did that for quite a few years, and I went into a couple of different areas, and it was a lot of hours, it was a lot of work, it was a lot of effort. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was one of the things that made me what I am today. And I took my hard work and high standard ethic into that business. And I think that's why I thrived. And that's one of the things that you should think about when you're contracting, is taking your work ethic and making sure it's higher than everybody else's. So the recession hit, the big 2008 property crumble. I was part of that wrap up. I had not made my business robust enough to guard against such things like that. And I know that's very hard to guard against such an event as that, but I could have done better. So I went back into the PAYE world. I got a role as a development manager or as a project manager for a software company in travel. I relocated at the same time to get that work. And we were really grateful, me and my partner, to be able to get that work. We run our own business. We relocated. We worked into a new job. We were currently looking for a new house where we currently live. So it was quite a turbulent time, but eventually we got settled. I don't think I really enjoyed working for other people. And it's weird, right, that I was in the military for so long. And I wasn't saying that I was a rebel. I was in trouble towards the end of my career. And I didn't think that was because I was getting bored and starting to rally against the system, which is a stupid thing to do in the military. You should just conform. And I think that's why I liked going to business for myself, because I didn't have to be told what to do. Everything I did was based on my own destiny. Yes, the client and customer tell you what to do, but you can decide how you do it. You decide how you operate, and if you ultimately fail or rise, that's down to you and not your clients. So I went back into the PAYE world, and I found it hard, really found it hard. I also found it hard because I wasn't the expert in the area that I chose to have that job. It was a strike of luck that I got that role. I had to do a lot of learning on the role and really cut my teeth into software, and it was a fantastic time. I worked with some amazing people. But ultimately, at the end, I left that PAYE role after 3 years. I found it highly stressful. I was constantly in imposter syndrome, but I felt that my skills were contributing to that role, and I felt that I did a good job by the time I left. And because of that, I was from a construction background, so I wanted to go back into construction. So I had heard of an opportunity, and I went back into construction. And it wasn't an apprentice role. it was a permanent role, but it was learning again. I was taking the skills that I'd learned in the military and applying it into civilian work sites. And I lasted a measly 6 months. I don't know if I'd been used to the office life, or if combined with the office life and also working for myself, working back on a construction site, which I used to love in the military, love it, was not what I was expecting. The environment just wasn't for me. It's very difficult to work in. Some guys thrive in it, and I knew what needed to be done, and I could see it, but I had no appetite to continue in that environment. So I'm on my ass. I'm not getting paid a lot of money. I'm doing what somebody else is telling me to do. I feel like a kid again, and I'm probably one of the lowest points in my life when I get a call from an old IT director that I used to work with. And he offered me an opportunity to go and work with him and his teams, but he couldn't employ me. He would have to take me on as a contractor because the work was a project-based work and there was a minimal shelf life. So they needed a temporary workforce to supplement their teams. And I was like, I felt it was a lifeline right at the right moment. It was right before Christmas. It was start within 2 weeks, let's go. And I was like, one of those, whoo, this could be it, this is another change. I was scared. I was scared, but I was excited. I was going back into the tech world, which I enjoyed. I was getting out of the back of the construction world, which was not what I thought it was going to be. And it's probably because military and civilian construction is completely different. I mean, the worlds are so different, it's ridiculous. And maybe that's what it was. But I went into contracting, and that was in December of 2013. Was it December 2013? Oh, it might have been December 2014. No, yeah, it was December 2013. 2013, I started the business up. And I went into that role, and from there, I never looked back. I enjoyed, I was commuting down to Sussex every week on the train. I left my family behind, and I was living in digs, and I was down there for 4 or 5 days a week on site or working remotely. And I spent a lot of my time down in the southeast and the southwest over the following years working for various different companies. And I had a great time. The experience I got outweighed anything I'd done. I was being exposed to different ways of working, different personalities, different methodologies, and it was as exciting as it was scary. And once I got over the imposter syndrome, because you feel that a lot, especially when you go into a business for the first time, and I realized that this company is looking for my skill set to deliver something they can't deliver, whether that because they've got a shortage of people, a shortage of skill set, a shortage of know-how, a shortage of experience. It varies. They want me. And once that triggered in my head, my life changed. The numerical amount that you get recompensed in contracting also adds to that confidence. For the first time in a long time, I had excess money in the bank. My financial education was very poor. I'd not really pushed myself to go and be more financially educated in the military. In the military, I spent what I earned. It was all about going places and working and then partying as hard as you could. That was the military lifestyle. And you spent your money as quickly as it came in. And I didn't see anything different to that other than being skint by X amount of the 15th of the month, for example. Contracting, running my own business, forced me to be more financially aware and financially educated, to the point where I moved from having the confidence of my own skill set, but also enjoying and realizing what money is. and money's nothing. Contracting and running my own business made me realize that money is just a plaything that others use to control people. I now get enrichment in my life from not only with my family, but for delivering solutions for companies that have an impact on the wider world. Okay, that's where I get my kicks. I get my kicks from saying, Dave, our problem statement is X, Y, and Z. What can we do to solve it? Or can you work with a team to solve it? And what can we do? And then seeing that problem statement move into a solution, an ideation, and then be delivered into a build and rolling that out to customers and clients, that's where I get my kicks. At the moment, one of my clients is a franchise operator, and everything that I do for this client at the moment is having a downstream impact on over 2,000 different business owners, over 6 countries. And those 2,000 business owners are affecting the travel of over 1 million travelers from the UK and 5 other countries that then affect millions and millions of other people in those countries they're visiting and generating and sharing revenue all over the world. And that just, for me, gives like the best kick. It's amazing. I really I get goosebumps talking about it right now, about what I'm doing in my space, which is fantastic. And that's what drives me. The funds that we get back from these clients are now a bonus for me, and I've found my proper vocation. And I don't know if I'd have found that if I was still in the PAYE market, or I wasn't a business owner or a contractor. The other thing is that because I got exposed to such big brands such as Virgin Holidays, Virgin Atlantic, 3, Vodafone, British Gas, more and more, I was able to share what I'd learned with smaller businesses. Smaller businesses don't realize that what those big companies are doing is repeatable. It's not a dark art. It's not secret. They can just employ different resources. They can invest large sums of money because they understand the ROI model. Whereas some businesses see expenditure as cost rather than ROI. Some businesses don't know how to migrate their personal service to online. They know how to migrate their manufacturing business to online. They're stuck and they don't know where to turn. And when they do turn, they're turning to these consultancy firms that want to charge 12, 2,000, 10,000 pound a day, 15,000 pound a day to provide someone with a modicum advice which gives them a direction and guidance. And I've been able to do that. I've been able to influence those small businesses in my local area and help them. And now I'm influencing small businesses further around the country. And I love it. I love giving snippets of advice out. I'm not free and willing with it, but I love giving the advice out to companies to take on in action. So where am I now? So I own a few businesses. My mainstay is contracting and freelancing. So I have a number of clients that I work with in order to, one, generate multiple streams of income, but also to ensure that I guard within certain criteria that you need to supplement for HMRC in terms of working within or outside of IR35. I'm very comfortable. I'm happy in my life. My family are great. We live in an amazing location here in North Wales, and life really couldn't be better. I network with people in various guises. I'm part of a community and mentorship group, which has helped me immensely. And I really say that I would not experience that if I was in the PAYE market. I love giving advice and I love solving problems. That's probably one of the biggest takes that you take, is that you become a problem solver as a contractor and freelancer. No job is the same. No gig is the same. Every challenge is different. Every client is different. Every workforce that you've got to embed into yourself for a short period of time is different. Working with other suppliers, you work with scores and scores of other suppliers. You get to speak to them and network with them. You get to give tips to them. You get tips back from them. And it's just a fantastic way to live. And I don't think I'd ever go back either. No, I definitely wouldn't go back. I get offered permanent roles all the time. And every client that you work for asks you to come on permanently. And I'm like, it's no disrespect, but no thank you. Thank you, but no thank you. I'm very grateful that you've offered. And it's a great little ego boost for time. But when you reflect on it, you realize that you enjoy your freedom. You enjoy servicing multiple clients. You enjoy the experience and the exposure that working for multiple clients brings you. And it's great. It's great. So that's a bit about me. That's a bit about me and how I got into contracting, and hopefully got a little bit from it. Hopefully it sort of positions me where you can trust what I'm going to say to you over the coming weeks and months. And then you can take a bit of advice based on the experience I have and take that into your own life and hopefully become a successful business owner, contractor, freelancer, side gigger, hustler, to supplement your own life as it is today. Have a great day. Be grateful for what you got and always try and achieve more.